Testing everything here. Sure, we're doing okay. Testing everything here. All right, I think everything's good and ready to go. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new rebuild series I am starting up in Madden 23. And this is, by the way, probably going to be the last rebuild series that I'm going to do in Madden 23, because obviously Madden 24 is going to come out in August, and something tells me by that point I'll be getting into that game and not playing this one anymore because it'll be updated and I want to check out all the new things. So I decided to do a rebuild with a team that has talent, really a lot of it, but really could use a rebuild due to the coaching staff issues, in my opinion, and internal issues that fans are not a fan of. So for anybody who's lived under a rock, the Cleveland Browns during the offseason of 2022, last year entering this season, they traded for Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and they signed Kareem Hunt, who both of those guys have had problems with the law in the league, but the Browns wanted them anyway. Unfortunately for the Browns last year, they didn't make the playoffs, and it wound up being Jacoby Brissett that played most of the season due to the fact that Deshaun Watson was suspended by the NFL for the majority of the year. But the way that things are shaping up for us in this particular situation, I'm just going to let this play off. Sorry about that. So, but one thing that I'm definitely going to. So I wanted to do a rebuild with the Browns because this is potentially a team that could be on the verge of making a run into the playoffs or making even a run once we get to the playoffs, but it remains to be seen because is the coaching good enough? And also, we're in a pretty tough division. The Ravens and the Bengals are probably going to be the favorites to either win the division or one of them be the wild card spot, so that's going to be pretty tough. And I'm actually going to start this rebuild in the very first season. So the 2022 season, we are starting things off in the preseason, and I'm not going to play the preseason games. I'm actually going to simulate through them, but I want to go ahead and do the cut days and everything like that just to make sure that I take control of that at least from the jump. But we are going into this season with we are going to go into the 2022 season with Deshaun Watson as our quarterback. We traded for him from the Texans, so obviously they traded for him from the Texans, so we're going to stick with him. Obviously, unlike the real life NFL, Watson is not suspended. He's eligible to play. So it's kind of going to be kind of a what-if season as well. Would the Browns have been better if Deshaun Watson was able to play the whole season? Another thing I want to talk about, listen, I was no fan of what Watson did and what he's been accused of. I think it's dirty, it's disgusting, and it's unfortunate that now this has all followed him to Cleveland. The Browns were the only team that even, I think, expressed interest in trading for Watson last offseason. They did, and they said, hey, Baker Mayfield doesn't want to be in Cleveland anymore, so we decided to trade for Watson and then ship him off to Carolina. But unfortunately for the Browns, they didn't make the playoffs because of this trade. Jacoby Brissett is decent, but he's no Watson. Brissett has mostly been known as a quarterback who has been a stopgap guy. He was that in Indianapolis when Andrew Luck was injured, and he's basically done the same thing here in Cleveland. But Brissett is on the bench. Watson is going to start the entire season for us as we lose our first preseason game to the Jaguars, but that's not that big of a deal. We're going through the preseason to mainly do the cut days to go ahead and get our roster down and do some cuts and everything like that. And I am starting this with the updated rosters for the start of the 2022 season, meaning that some of the the end of the season the end of the 2022 season rosters are up to date. So I wanted to start this as as accurate as possible for going into 2022, pretty much. So we're not at cut days yet. Let's go ahead and advance past this preseason game against the Bears. It looks like we beat the Eagles, so we did better in the preseason game number 2. I'm sure Watson had a pretty fantastic game. Probably played more. Starters probably played more. And we beat the Bears in the preseason to wind up 2-1. So now we got to do cut days, but first let's go ahead and take care of some housekeeping. We got some upgrades that we can do with our staff. And if we don't make the playoffs this year in the first season of the rebuild, I'm actually going to probably consider firing Kevin Stefanski because there may be better coaches out there, and I'm going to see what coaches get fired, and if maybe we could possibly get a better coach in here, but that remains to be seen. I'm still going to go with Stefanski for this season and just see what he can do. I'm going to give him a chance, but I'm not going to commit to him long term, if you will. So we can't really upgrade too much, it looks like, with Stefanski. We can get this one for hands-on defense. That's fine. So we're able to do an upgrade there, so we now only have 2 points left. And Stefanski probably needs the upgrades out of everybody, so we're going to go ahead with him as our head coach. And by the way, if you guys look in the top right-hand corner, the owner name that I gave this to change our role to managing the team is Sonny Weaver Jr. Does that name ring a bell? Well, if it doesn't, it's probably because it's a football movie that you guys aren't really too familiar with. But it's in reference to the fictional general manager of the Cleveland Browns in the 2014 movie Draft Day, which actually was centered around the real-life NFL draft. Well, not real life, but there were fake players, of course. But it was a movie where the general manager of the Cleveland Browns made a bunch of trades on draft day to acquire some great players and some future picks, and basically began the turnaround for Cleveland. So essentially that's what I'm kind of doing with Sonny Weaver Jr. taking over for the Browns at the beginning of the 2022 season to try to see if we can have some of that draft day magic come to the Browns to turn them around. And the thing is, the Browns made the playoffs in 2020, and they won a playoff game for the first time since they were basically reborn in '99 against the Steelers. The next season in 2021, Mayfield didn't really get along with his coach, and it just wound up getting kind of ugly. And this is a very talented team. And we got Myles Garrett, we got Nick Chubb, Watson, we got Amari Cooper. This team is talented enough, I think, to be a playoff team. And it'll be interesting to see how, if Watson were to play the whole season, if we're going to be good enough to actually do that, because that still remains to be seen. So let's go ahead and start cutting some players, and let's see who we can get rid of. So we could move Mon to practice squad, but I don't want to do that just quite yet. We have a ton of running backs. Let's go ahead and move. Can we cut one of those guys and not get any penalties? Well, let's go ahead and put Ford and Felton Jr. On the practice squad. So now that leaves us with 3 running backs. Pretty solid running back room, if you ask me. And we're going to go ahead and move Michael Woods and Suarez to practice squad as well. Do we want to move any of the rest of these guys? We have 5 wideouts, so let's come back to that later. Let's see. Jesse James is not. Harrison Bryant. Let's go ahead and move him to practice squad because we have Jesse James in there, so we can be our 3rd string tight end. We have Pharaoh Brown as well, but Njoku is our starter at 85 overall, so that's pretty solid. I mean, this is a good team. This is a solid team. And when I say, when I do the whole rebuild concept, it's more about maybe this next offseason getting enough pieces to help put the Browns over the hump to win the division and maybe make a Super Bowl run. Because the last rebuild that I did with the Buccaneers to try to do the whole life after Tom Brady thing, like what they're going to do, it really didn't pan out. I mean, by year 4, I traded for Mac Jones, and that didn't help at all. It actually made the team worse. We ended with a losing record as opposed to being a team just on the verge of making the playoffs. So that was pretty frustrating. But we're back to try to do something different today. Hopefully we can right the wrong and do better in this rebuild. A lot of these guys on offensive line we can't really. Well, we can move. Let's go ahead and move Dawson Deaton. Oh, Red Raider Dawson Deaton to practice squad. Let's go ahead and move him to practice squad because Deaton can develop and get better. So let's see. Right tackles. No, we don't have anybody that we could really cut or do that. Odom. None of these guys are practice squad eligible. So yeah, because I don't want to endure any cap penalties. Let's put Alex Wright on practice. And let's do the same thing with... You know what? Let's just go ahead and straight up cut Ben Still. Because it's going to cost us nothing. And Tommy Tuguai, let's move him to practice. And that leaves us with 3 defensive tackles. That's solid. I want to make sure that there's depth still there. Jermaine Carter, we could just cut him and not worry about any money issues. But that would leave us with, we got a lot of middle linebackers. Let's go ahead and cut Kazance. I think that's his name. Yeah, let's cut Jordan. Let's cut Reggie Ragland as well. And we have 3 middle linebackers now. That's pretty solid. Fields, yeah, we're gonna leave kind of this as it. We probably have a lot of corners. Yeah, we got a decent amount of corners. We can probably get rid of some of these guys, or just move into practice. AJ Green III, let's move him to practice squad. And 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, I kind of want to have 5 corners, just in case, without moving like one of them to practice squad. We only have 1 free safety. Okay. There's a bunch of these guys. Let's move DeAnthony Bell to practice squad as well. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. It's getting really hot in South Texas, where I live right now. So allergies are kind of messing with me at times a little bit. So I apologize for that. Okay, well, we're in a bye week, which means that we're really at the end of the preseason. We've done our cut day, so let's advance to the regular season. And let's see where we're at. Okay, so we got to choose draft class, of course. Let's go ahead and get let's get my the file that I always use for the draft class. I want to make sure it's the right one, though, because I know that there's been one that's been created for, yeah. Let's go ahead and overwrite that file. Yeah, Monkey Man, his draft class is pretty accurate. It's got, like, the quarterbacks and everything in here. Because I want to try to keep it accurate as possible. Let me just double check and make sure that they're all here. Yeah, Will Anderson, Stroud, Carter. Yeah, this is it. That's the draft class that I want. Hopefully I'm not picking Will Levis again, because I don't want to have to pick him in the 3rd consecutive rebuild. But then again, I'm not worried about a quarterback situation in this particular rebuild because we're pretty set with Watson. So I'm not really too worried about having to possibly be worrying about getting a quarterback in the first offseason of the rebuild. With the Texans and Buccaneers, I had to worry about that, but not with the Browns in this rebuild. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, so scouts are all done. Practice square, player sign. Let's go ahead and take a look at our roster. I want to see if we had any injuries in the preseason or if we have any like pre-existing injuries for this team. Okay, so Chris Odom is out for a week with a shoulder strain, so that's okay. But we don't have any serious injuries. He's our 3rd string defensive end, I think. So I'm not too concerned about that. So let's go ahead and advance to the middle of the season and see where we're at. Hopefully we're not too far out of the playoffs, but we'll see. I mean, after all, I am calling this a rebuild. So if we don't make the playoffs in the first year, it's not the end of the world. And an offseason might help us, get out of the, maybe if we have salary cap issues, because that could be a potential problem for signing better players to help upgrade the team. And, yeah. As far as any weaknesses that we have, I think we have weaknesses maybe just like at safety and maybe offensive line, so that's probably the only real spots that we need to address in the offseason. But I could be wrong. But overall, our roster is pretty solid. We got a good quarterback. We got a good running back. We got, 2 good running backs, if you ask me. We don't have a fullback, but then again, you don't really need a fullback in this game. We got decent receivers, good tight end. But I also want to take a look at the contract situations and see where we're at, because in mid-season, I want to see whose contract is up and who I might want to keep around, because that could be huge for the future. Because I don't really know what the contract situation might be for Watson or Amari Cooper or some other guys on the team, or maybe Myles Garrett. I mean, Myles Garrett, I think, is locked in for a solid contract for at least a few more years, but I could be wrong about that. If there's anybody that I want to keep, even over Watson, for this franchise, for this rebuild, for the whole longevity of it, it's probably Myles Garrett, because he's a generational type defensive player that you can really continue to build around. Okay, so we have a pretty solid start to the season. We're 5-2, and we got to go against the 4-3 Bengals, and we are on top of the AFC North, so that is great news. So let's go ahead to the negotiating screen and see at the middle of the season what players we need to negotiate with.
These
We don't
players
have
on the last
we don't
year
have a
of their
whole lot of
contract.
cap room, but let's see here. Now, Kareem Hunt, his re-sign interest is up there pretty good. Jadeveon Clowney, I think I'm just going to go ahead and let walk because his interest really isn't up there. But let's see who else is even interested in coming back. Ronnie Harrison Jr. For depth, I still think that he could
Choose
be
from 4 preset
somebody
offers
that.
that range in.
Let's see, projected depth. So he's strong safety. Yeah, we could probably make him an offer for 2 years. Next season will be great. Okay. Also, his interest was up there, so I figured, hey, why not? I don't know do anything with Hunt just yet, but let's see who else is interested in coming back. Okay, well, Ernest Johnson, his interest re-signing is not up there, and that would give me reason to consider bringing back Hunt as somebody to back up Nick Chubb. But, I mean, Chubb is one of the best backs in the league, and we can probably find somebody decently enough to back him up anyway. So maybe with Kareem Hunt, we just worry about the franchise tag possibly with him, and everybody else can kind of just walk. As far as the rest of the players that I could consider, maybe Joe Haig, Michael Dunn, maybe for depth on the offensive line. Jesse James, yeah, because it looks like that there was a tight end that's on the last year of his deal, Pharaoh Brown. Yeah, his interest is up there. You know what? I'll probably go with him over Jesse James due to the overall. I'll probably renegotiate with Pharaoh Brown and try to get him. I don't think I can negotiate with him just yet, but I could be wrong about that. So let's go ahead to negotiate. Let's see if we can get Hunt to come on a deal that isn't really too out of the water. I don't want to do 4 years. That's kind of up there. Let's see about team friendly for 3 years, maybe. You don't have a salary cap. Okay, so that answers my question. So I think we honestly may have to. So yeah, we're in salary cap hell right now. We only have $4 million, and we can't even do any more moves right now. So we may just have to let just about all of these guys walk, except for the guys that are in the 60s. Wow. Okay. Well, this offseason is going to be pretty tough. We're going to have to let some guys walk for sure. So Hunt, he may be out of the running for us to keep, just because of our salary cap number issue. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look actually at the salary and see who's really making the most money out here. Let's see. I want to see who is. Let's see, roster, team salaries. Okay, so who's making the most money out here on the team? So it is Myles Garrett. Okay, so his contract, he's on a 7-year deal and he's got 5 years left. And Nick Chubb has got 3 years left. Joel Bitano's got 4 years left. But these guys are in the 90s. So, and Amari Cooper at 90 overall has got 3 years left on his deal. Jeez, I didn't know that. We could possibly look at trading Wyatt Teller. Or maybe Njoku. And we can just sign those other 2 tight ends just to help out. But an 85 overall tight end is not really something I just want to give up. Greg Newsome, 84 overall corner. He's a rookie, so I don't want to get rid of him. Watson's got 5 year. Wow. Watson's contract is really eating up total. The guys that are eating up the most money are these guys. Ward, Teller, right guard. Maybe we can look to trade.
This is the player. This is the develop. Here are a player's motivation. This is the abilities tab. Here you can.
I want to see if maybe we can get something for him. And maybe just even picks. Let's see. What teams out there could use a right guard? Bengals could use a left guard, but I don't really want to trade in the division. Ooh. Okay, so, but what about right guards? Specifically right guards. Who could use one of those? The Chargers could. And I'm not really asking for too much. I'm really just asking for maybe some picks. Maybe a first rounder even. This may be tough. This may be asking for too much, but yeah. So trade accepted. Okay. That might have been that's not, yeah. That might not have been the best decision I could have done, but, and let me see what that actually does to the depth chart. But we got a first round pick for a 87 overall right guard. And I'm not discounting guards or anything like that, but, you know, he was eating up a lot of the salary, and I just feel like that we, you know, need some help at certain times. So, yeah. So, it actually doesn't really mess things up too bad, because at left guard, we still have Benayo, and Drew Forbes, who's a left guard, 65 overall, though. That's where this kind of gets me. Let me put Freibolt is 65 overall. So let's have him kind of keep things going for the season. That might not have been the best move I could have done, but I want to see how much of the salary that freed up, because I don't know how much it really did. So that gives us now $8.5 million in cap room. So now we have more wiggle room to do some stuff, because he was taking up so much. So I'm not really going to do so, because so let's go ahead and see. You know what? I'm actually not going to really worry about Kareem Hunt, because I think Hubbard, Chubb. I was thinking Chuba Hubbard, my fault. Because Chubb is our guy. But doing that, I think, definitely helps free up some salary. He was a good offensive lineman, but that was a lot. And we got a first-round pick from the Chargers from him. So I think that was pretty solid. All right. Well, let's kind of go week by week. We don't have any media questions, so let's just kind of advance and see what we do for the rest of the season. If we're not a playoff team, then I'm definitely going to play the last game of the regular season and see what happens then. You know, just give me a chance to play. So we did beat the Bengals by 3 points, and we're in pretty good shape right now. Signed a practice squad player. Let's go ahead and answer a media question here. At the midway point, your team's in a good spot. How far do you think this team can go? And you know what? I mean, I'm going to go for it. You know, we can win the Super Bowl in our first year of this rebuild, which would be fantastic for obvious reasons. Let's go ahead and upgrade players. And let's continue on. Let's go ahead and do some staff managing right now, because it looks like we got some skill points to spend on Stefanski here. Let's go over to this other tree, this part of the tree, because I saw something else. Let's go to let's fully upgrade the hands-on defense, and let's get that. Can we spend like 5 points somewhere maybe? Let's go to the offensive coordinator. It's been 8 points there. Let's do it. All right. Got no more skill points to spend. We were able to use up all of our points here, so that's solid. Put some on our offensive coordinator, Will Hudson. Gave him some upgrades. So now we're on a bye week, actually. Let's go back to the negotiating screen, and I think Brown, that tight end, was somebody that I was considering trying to negotiate with. And now with the trade of that offensive lineman, we've got more space to work with. So yeah, Pharaoh Brown we can negotiate with. I'm thinking I'm going to bring him back for just depth purposes. And I don't think... Let me just see if he'll take the team-friendly option. Don't try and exploit my passion for this franchise with that low of an offer again. Okay, geez, what a... okay, Brown, that's a little bit... That's a little aggressive. I've never actually seen a player prompt say that. So that's kind of... that's kind of crazy, if you ask me. So one other thing I actually want to take a look at, I don't even know if, actually we can't make any more trades because the trade deadline I think is already passed. But you know what? Let's see. Let me just take a look and see who is taking up also more salary cap that maybe we could consider moving on from, if anybody. Yeah, I mean, Hunt, we're just going to let him walk away. I think that's what would be best. John Johnson. But finding another 81 overall safety is going to be pretty tough. Clowney's done after this year, so that'll free up some more cap space. Owosu Karuma. But right outside linebacker at 80 is pretty good. Willis. Conklin. Of course, Watson. Peoples-Jones. Yeah, none of these guys are really making the big bucks right now, so let's kind of just not worry about any trades or anything like that right now, and let's just kind of go through the season and see what happens. All right, well, that's our bye week. Now we're playing against the Dolphins. We're 6-2, so we're in a pretty good spot right now. Let's go ahead and do an upgrade of the players who we can upgrade. Let's see if we can beat the Dolphins. See how this game goes. 7-2, so we beat the Dolphins. I'm going to upgrade players again, and we can also manage the staff. So let's go ahead and maybe see if we can give some more skill points to Stefanski or our offensive coordinator. We only have 1 point, so I don't think we'll be able to do anything with that. Let's go to the negotiating screen and see what we can do here, because there may be some players that I was considering trying to re-sign, negotiate with to keep them around. So, yeah, Brown, I think we may just have to let him walk. Jermaine Carter, I don't really think this guy's going to be asking for a whole lot of money. Let's go 2 years. Excited. Okay, cool. But we're at $2.2 million now, so I think that's the best that we can do for right now. We can't even negotiate, I think, with anybody else right now because of this. So I'm really only, and like I said, I'm really only going to consider the guys that have their re-sign interests up there. Now, Frothholf, he's our starter right now at right guard. So, he's probably somebody that we may have to see if we can try to make sure that we get back, as well as Michael Dunn for depth. And maybe Haig, but that's it. Probably just 3 other guys that we should even really consider re-signing. So, yeah. We're going to kind of center around those offensive linemen for depth purposes to make sure that we keep them. Scouting, focus player. Delegate decisions to staff. We'll do that. All right, we got a pretty tough game against the Bills this week. We're 7-2. They're 7-2. This could very well determine playoff position, but who knows? And I think maybe it's like week 12, 13, 14 that I think the playoff picture is revealed to start out with, so we'll see. Well, unfortunately, we lost to the Bills by 20, which was kind of a little bit of a blowout. So we're 7-3 now, and we're playing against the Bucs. Are 2-8. Wow, Tom Brady must be hurt or something for them to be 2-8 right now. So let's go ahead and upgrade some players, and let's go ahead and continue on. Let me see about players ready to negotiate, just for my own curiosity. But we're still at $2.2 million, so yeah. Really, we can't even negotiate with him until week 15 anyway. So I think 15. So we're just gonna have to wait until week 15 before we probably go back to thinking about negotiating anything with anybody. So let me actually go ahead and go to manage roster and see if we can cut some of these guys. The guys that are not going to be, the guys that are at the low end of the roster who are just, we can't afford to cut. Penalty. So if we cut Kellen Mond, that would be no penalty. Are you sure you want to? Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to have to free up some cap space. At least a little bit. It may not be much, but let's see. We got no fullbacks and penalties. Jalen Darden. We won't get a penalty for releasing him, so I hate to say it, but we're going to have to let you go, man. It's not for, these moves aren't freeing up a whole lot in cap room, but based on the fact that we only have $2.2 million that we can spend anywhere, is an issue. So now but the only thing is, now I think we're only left with 3 wide receivers. But we can bring probably a practice squad guy back, I assume. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit. We're not going to bring back Jesse James anyway, so let's go ahead and just, release him. Because I don't think we're going to be, because we're not going to be bringing him back. Let's go ahead and kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit. Haig, left. So we have, I think, enough. Yeah. You know what? Let's actually get ahead of the curve and cut Haig. So maybe we're doing a lot of cuts at this point of the first season, but I'm trying to free up some cap space that we can and get ahead of the curve of, I'm not going to do anything with right guards because that would leave us with only 3 guards right now. Of course, we traded somebody, so that's big. It looks like we have some injuries, so I got to go back to the injury report screen and see who's out because it looks like we have some already out. We're not bringing back Odom, so we're going to go ahead and cut him. This isn't freeing up a whole lot in cap room, but every little bit will probably help right now. Yeah, we're going to get penalties if we cut any of these. Probably most of these linebackers. So, yeah. So, cutting Graham is 4 corners. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut him. Thomas Graham, yeah. Yeah. So, let's see if maybe we can sign some of the practice squad guys back. Sign from practice squad. Can we? Yeah. So we cut him. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these guys off the practice squad for help. Quez Stevenson is on the practice squad, but we could use another receiver, so let's go ahead and sign him from the practice squad. Because we cut another receiver. Go ahead and get Anthony Bell in here. Michael Woods signing from practice squad as well. Can we not do that? Oh wait, he had an upgrade or something. Let me take a look at this. Michael Woods is second. Okay. And let's sign it from the practice squad. We just upgraded him, and he's on the practice squad now. so that's all we're going to do with this. So because we did that, what are things looking like for the whole negotiating aspect? Probably not good. Yeah, we still have only 4.3 million in cap room to spend right now, so yeah. Yeah, but we were able to cut some players to free up some space, but I think by signing those guys from the practice squad, I just kind of undid that. But, you know, save some money, get depth. Let's take a look at the injury report, because it looks like we've got some guys that are hurt that we need to pay attention to right now. Okay, so Ethan Pokic, who's our I think he's our starting center. He's out for 2 weeks with a quad tear. Deion Jones is out for a week with a PCL sprain, and David Bell, wide receiver, is out for 1 week with a broken finger. So yeah, that's why I wanted to sign a practice squad guy at receiver, because we cut a receiver, and you know we need 4 receivers. We only had 3 of them if we don't have a practice squad guy that we signed. So yeah. So we're going up against the Bucs this week. They're not very good. They're 2-8 so far. They're 2-8 so far, which means that Tom Brady's either hurt or is just not playing very well. So this should be an easy win. And we lose to the How do we lose to the 2-8 Bucs? Golly. I mean, I know we've done some moves that have, like, you know, we've cut some guys and we made some adjustments, but can't slip up now. Hopefully that was an aberration. That's abnormal, and it's not great. All right, now it's time to take a look at the playoff picture. I think we're 7-4 right now. So yeah, we're definitely in the playoff picture, and I think we're leading the AFC North right now. And I don't see any other AFC North teams even in the hunt. So we may be able to. So we may need just a couple more wins to wrap up the division title, which would be fantastic. And if we do that, I'm not going to play the final game. And if it looks like we're definitely going to be a playoff team, I'm not playing the final game of the regular season. And I'll just play the moments for the playoffs. Let's go ahead to the negotiating screen again and see what we can do, if anything. Probably isn't anything, really. Let's take a look and see who we can possibly look at bringing back. I think, where's that, so Frohold's interest went down. Why did it go down? Maybe these guys' interest went down because we've, like, you know, brought some players back or something. I'm not really sure. Okay, so you know what? Because of all this, I think I'm just going to have to let everybody on this screen walk away. Because if their interest is dipping for whatever reason, and they're not interested, then it's going to take money to convince them to stay, a lot of it, more than I want to spend. And right now, based on our salary cap situation, I don't think I can afford to do that right now. So let's just go ahead and continue on. Let's play against the Texans. They're 4-7. We should be able to beat this team. Watson going against his former team. And we beat the Texans only by like 2 points, so we're kind of slipping up a little bit here towards the end of the season, in a way. It's a 2-point win, but still. But we're 8-4, which is pretty good. And based on the standings, the Bengals are 7-5, so they're creeping a little bit. But let's take a look at the playoff picture and see if anything changed. This Bengals game actually could be pretty important because if we lose, they could one-hop us in the division, and then we might be fighting for a wild card spot, which, you know, I don't want to have the team, which would make things more difficult. So hopefully we take care of business against the Bengals. I know they're a tough team with Joe Burrow and company, but it's a pretty big game for the division. And unfortunately, we lose, and now we're in second place in the North. Wow. So we lost our grip on the division for at least this week, which is not good. So because of this, are we still in the playoff picture, though? Okay, so we're still in the playoff picture, but now we've slipped all the way to being a wild card team at the 7th spot. So that's not good. And that's actually, I think, the final spot. So we slip up, we're done. Not good. Not good at all. And we got the Ravens this week. They're 3rd in the division. We're 2nd. Let me take a look at our roster and see if we got any injuries. There hasn't been a pop-up for a serious injury, so I'm assuming we're pretty healthy. Yeah, we have no injuries. So hopefully we'll be okay. So let's see. Let's go ahead and play this game against the Ravens. We've slipped up a little bit the last few weeks. We beat the Texans only by 2 points, but turn around and lose a big division game to the Bengals. That's not good. So we beat the Ravens by 21, so that's pretty good, and we should still be in the playoff picture now. Depending on what the Bengals did, that could affect us. So the Bengals are out of the playoff picture now, and we've jumped up to the 4th spot again. So that's nice. I guess the Bengals, let's see. The Bengals beat us last week. Oh, and they must have lost last week. So they're 8-6. We're 9-5 right now. So that's pretty good. We got the Saints. They're 6-8. This should be another win. Hopefully we keep the momentum going. My nose is a little bit stopped up, so I'm sorry about that. We only beat the Saints by 1, but a win's a win, so we'll take it. Upgrade some players. Probably still tops in the division, so no really worries there. So far, this season is playing out kind of like I would suspect if Watson was the starter for the whole year, because we've been the AFC North front runners the whole season. And if this was a perfect world and Watson didn't have any off-the-field issues, nor did Kareem Hunt, the Browns would have been a good playoff team this past season. So that answers your question, Cleveland. You guys would have been contenders if you didn't have if players like Watson and Hunt didn't have all that baggage. So yeah. Got Washington this week. They're 5-10. We should be able to beat this team as well. We've had a couple of easy NFC opponents the last few weeks with losing records, so this is another one of them. But unfortunately, we slip up and we lose by 8 points. But fortunately, it looks like the Bengals, are lost again. So they're 9-7. We're 10-6. So we still got a lead up on the division. You only have 3 skill points to spend. Maybe we can spend those points on somewhere else, because I don't think we can really spend it on Stefanski anywhere. But let me check our offensive coordinator. See if we can maybe spend some money here. Well, not money, but points. It's 8 points. How about the defensive coordinator? 8 points there as well. 24 for that. How about player personnel? Are there any of these low things that we can spend these points on? Not sure why it was giving me a prompt to go ahead and go to the franchise staff screen, because we only have 3 points to spend, which isn't enough to get any upgrades. But it is what it is. So we're going into our final regular season game against the Steelers. They're not fighting for any playoff spot. They're at the bottom of the division at 6-9-1. We're 10-6. Let's take a look at the playoff picture one more time before we go into the final week of the regular season, and let's see who's all battling for position. So based on the way things are looking right now, it looks like for the wild card round, we're going to have to play the Chargers. We would be playing that game at home, so that's pretty good news. And the Bills have the best record in the AFC, so they got the first round bye. The Eagles got the first round bye over on the NFC side of things. Looks like the Niners, Bears, Packers, Giants, Saints, and Cowboys are all in the mix. Chiefs, Bengals, wow, that'd be great. And the Raiders and the Jaguars. So, yeah. Pretty interesting looking playoff scenarios there. So here we go. Let's go ahead and advance past this game. And let's get into the playoffs. It looks like Cincinnati is still going to make it. So, yeah, it looks like we are playing against the Chargers in the wild card round. Before we get into that game, I want to go ahead and double-check the injury reports and make sure that we're not missing anything if we have to, bring in somebody from the practice squad, because Lord knows we might be dealing with injuries in the playoffs, which I don't want to deal with. So we have no injuries going into the playoffs, so that's nice. I'm kind of interested to play with this team with Watson and all the talent that we do have. All right, so let's go ahead and play the wild card round. We're going to only play the moments in all these playoff games, with the exception of maybe the Super Bowl if we make it that far. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just go with the regular brown uniforms. Playoff football in Cleveland. You didn't think it was possible. I mean, I really didn't do too much in the first year of this rebuild. It isn't really a full season, other than make that trade to free up some cap room, which has allowed us to retain some guys for depth for the future. But other than that, we're going to have some salary cap issues going into the offseason where we probably won't have any wiggle room to really sign anybody big. Guys like Hunt and Clowney are likely done after this first season, so we're just gonna try to move on without those guys. But we'll think about that after the playoffs are done. And right now, we've got a big playoff matchup against the Chargers in the wild card round. The Dog Pound is out and alive in Cleveland.
Ohio. It's the AFC.
So here we go. First game, wild card round in the playoffs.
And we drop you in here under the lights. First drive of the contest.
Hunt.
First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Jones on the slant.
Watson's throw into the hands of Peoples-Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The result of first down is a quick slant gets him 14. Here's Watson.
I was thinking about Cooper right there, but woo, Peoples-Jones. Juking him out of his sneakers. Let's go.
44-yard line. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Nicked up after
Back
that
to
play,
throw,
so he's got to go to
Watson.
the bench.
Escaping the pressure
Watson.
right.
Roll out.
This
Finds him. First
Bell.
down. Let's go, Bell.
They'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing
Jones
over out
blue
of
shoulder will
bounds.
return.
Back-to-back
Let's go ahead
nice
and keep him in
gains.
there.
That one for
His injury
14
risk is
yards and
medium.
another
If it was
first.
high, I would not consider putting him back in for this game. Ooh, they're coming. Let's audible to this.
Here's Watson.
Audible to slant.
And that's going to be
Jones
caught by
on the slant route again.
And they're going to get
Watson
this
is
down
4 for 4
inside
on this
the
first
20.
drive.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Handoff up the middle. Hunt. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now
Bell.
Watson.
Ooh,
This one
almost
incomplete.
completed that, but Bell
Too much
was
contact to hold on to
got
that
a little-
one, and it's 3rd down.
held up right
This
there.
opening drive
It's
coming
3rd
up.
and
This
7.
is
You
3rd
know what?
down.
Let's change this to trail snake here. Bell might be
Now
able
it's
to
Watson.
shake him and get open. There we go. That's what I'm looking
Route
for.
complete to Bell.
Nice
Yeah,
job.
the Browns are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Got Nick Chubb in the backfield here for this running play.
Chubb.
We can get in, get around him, spin, get off.
Gonna be
These
hit
Chargers
and
were
met
all
at the
over that
line of
running play.
scrimmage. They get him down at the 3.
They got a stingy defense, so
No
that's
gain on the play that time, and it sets up
nothing to
2nd
take
and goal.
lightly. I'll tell you that much.
From the gun, here's
Hunt.
Watson. He's going to dump this
Outside
off to his
route.
running back, Hunt.
Down to the 1-yard line.
And
Thought
he'll
maybe
be
he could
brought
sneak
down
it in
right
a
on
little
the
there.
edge of the
But,
goal line.
you know what? Let's go
about the
power
1-yard
football
line.
here.
Looking to
Got
cash
Chubb,
in
one of the
on
best
this
backs in the
opening
league.
drive. Here's
Gonna
3rd and
carry it
goal.
and try to get this thing in
They'll
there
give
for
it to
6.
Chubb.
And he does.
And he
Touchdown,
takes this
Browns.
one in for a Browns score.
So we, on our opening drive, capitalize and take it right down the
Punching
field and
it in
score,
for the yard.
setting the tone for this first playoff game. And it looks like our defense has as well. They got the ball back for us. Looks like a turnover as well. So we got this ball in pretty good field position.
A run for Nick Chubb.
Loosen things
He will
up.
push his way down to about the 14. It was Sebastian Joseph who got him down defensively.
Try the screen
The
one.
last
The
run
screen
good for
pass to
2.
Chubb.
Here's
Let's see if
second
he
and
can
8.
get loose. This may be
Watson down to throw.
not the best decision.
They set up the screen to
Yeah,
Chubb.
it wasn't. The
And
blocks
this
just
play
didn't
goes
happen on that play.
nowhere.
Watson
Losing
had
yardage
pressure
back to the 15.
immediately when he snapped that ball.
Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson.
I thought I could fit that ball in there.
And
it was 3rd down too, so.
This first quarter. After 7-0.
So let's go ahead and kick the field goal at least. Get some points here. York
able to send this
field goal is up
and
good.
that will extend
We're
that
up
lead
10-0
even further.
early on the Chargers. Into the second quarter now. So the Chargers responded and got their first touchdown of the game. It's 3rd down and 4 for us.
Defense looking for a big 3rd
Gotta
down
keep this-
stop here.
gotta
They're
keep
already
this
down
drive
to the
alive.
scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Joku, come on, man.
He's got
There we go.
Joku, his big
First
tight
down.
end.
First down,
And
Cleveland.
he is going to have the
That's a big
Browns
catch
first
right there.
down by about a yard.
All right, so now we got another 3rd down and 5. Well, not third and, well, it's not the same yardage.
Second
it's
quarter,
3rd
this
and
defense looking for a big 3rd down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense. Eluding the pressure right.
Come on, Bell. Good roll out by
Tries the
Watson.
right side, and he
Bell with a
finds
nice
Bell.
grab. Bell's been
And
beasting
they
it up
will
this game.
eventually get him down.
He's been the
but
unsung
he's
hero of this
inside the
one.
5 all the way to the 3.
He's open. I'm throwing it to him. All right, we're still in the second quarter here. We got done with the 2-minute warning. Knocking on the door here. Oh! He gets sacked.
He's going to go down.
I was trying to hit
Sack
Cooper on the
back
slant,
around
but
the
I didn't
8.
get enough time in that pocket.
Well-timed effort there by Derwin James. A sack from his
Derwin
safety
James
position.
came in there like crazy.
It's 2nd and goal. Back to the 8-yard line now. Watson.
See if Watson can. Oh no! Oh my God, that was so dumb. That was my own fault. I shouldn't have been running it with Watson like loose like that. I thought I could get some solid yardage. I was hoping he went down, but he didn't. Instead, he turns the ball over, and now we're on defense for the first time. At least since I'm playing. For the 3rd and 10. Let's audible a little bit, actually. Give us some more coverage back there.
Throw on 3rd down with Herbert.
And Herbert, sack! Let's go! There we go. Nice job, Miles. Let's go and call timeout.
That is now 2 sacks for him.
Maybe potentially get the ball back and maybe actually add some more to the scoreboard. But it didn't happen. So now we're in the 3rd quarter. We got a 3rd and 7, forced the Chargers into that.
Defenses have reigned supreme. Can the defense reign supreme once more on 3rd down? Let's find out. Here's Herbert. Able to hook up with Williams here on the out
Williams
route.
caught that out of there.
And he is going to have the Chargers first.
3rd down and 12, so they got another 3rd down and 1.
In this
Our
one, and
defense
it's the
played
3rd quarter. Defenses have reigned supreme. Can the defense
that was a terrible throw by Herbert. But we'll take it. Back on offense.
Points have been hard to
Really want to get this first down and keep this drive alive. I want to
defenses
keep
have
scoring.
reigned supreme. Can the defense reign supreme once more on 3rd down? Let's find out.
Just run it, Watson. Run it.
And he's brought
No
to
fumbles.
the ground with another
Nice job.
first down at the Chargers 17-yard line.
Not the biggest fan of scrambling with Watson, but he's kind of like Dak back there. He's got some good mobility, so I'm not afraid to utilize that.
From the red zone now, Watson.
Play action fake might not have been the sexiest idea. Let's take it out of bounds, Watson. You gained a few
down
yards.
to the 10. They'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be
A
second
stretch
and a
play
couple.
might not be the best solution in this. Best idea here.
A give running right is Chubb.
That's
And this
not
won't
too
be
bad. We
enough
did gain
to
enough
pick up the
yardage for that.
first.
They've
A
really
gain of
shut
2,
down our running
3rd
game.
and 1.
Our offense
An
really has
extra
kind of just
quarterback
been
now in the game for the
dink and dunk.
Chargers here on
Kind of
3rd.
like not really big chunk plays, but just
Back
plays
to throw.
that
Watson.
are solid, but it's
The
not
quick slant
like
caught.
big, huge plays.
Yeah, the Browns are going to be set up with a first.
So we got a first down, first catch for Amari Cooper in this game.
They'll run with
Chubb.
Chubb.
Second touchdown of the day for Nick Chubb. And that could be potentially a big touchdown. It's kind of been a little bit of a struggle for points in this game, so that touchdown might be huge. So we do have the Chargers creeping again. We're only up by 3. We really need to get another first down here. I want to really keep this drive alive. Let's audible to stick here.
From the gun on third, Watson.
There we go, Cooper. Nice catch. Like 4.5 minutes to go, but that was a pretty big completion right there to keep the drive alive. Looks like they're going to let us finish this one off. I really want 7 here. Getting 3 points doesn't make me feel nearly as good as getting 7.
And he'll be brought down this time at
Chubb's
the
running pretty
5-yard
hard,
line. 75 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Another running play.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. They run it again with Chubb.
There we go. And Chubb is in there again for the touchdown. Let's go. 3 touchdowns today for Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
It's a big touchdown right there. Puts us back up by 10. Chargers did respond. So now it's 1st and 10. They got all 3 timeouts left, so now we just got to try to wind down this clock if we can.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb.
We may have to throw it on 3rd down
if
we don't gain much yardage on this next play, which
the Chargers going to signal
pretty much saying is going to be a run.
As they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb.
All right, well, it's a solid run, but it's not
timeout called
anything
by the defense. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
3rd and 4. This may be a risk. This may be risky, but I'm going to throw it.
In search of 4
I want to get this first down and end this game.
Now it's Watson. Man open left side.
Don't fall down. Oh my God, are you serious?
And that's going to make it 4th down.
They got the completion, but they didn't get the first
Look
down,
at this
so
cheese.
You got to think if you're on the defensive side,
I shake the tackle.
What you just accomplished there.
Yeah, guy,
and he stumbles and he puts his big toe on the line. And he goes out of bounds. Oh my God.
The Browns send out their punter now.
And because he went out of bounds, the clock stopped. Oh my God.
And now a low liner. I think he missed it.
Oh no. And we don't even get a good punt.
Inside the 40-yard
wow.
line.
Well, it looks like they're going to give us this whole drive. And they need a field goal just to tie this mother up. I can't believe Brown did that.
Herbert.
Come on, Herbert. Or no, defense. There we go. Force the pressure. There we go. Let's go. Come on.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath because that's what they're doing.
We can get interception in this game. That would be that would be ice cream. Ice cream with some delicious Reese's peanut butter cups or some cookie dough or something like that. I don't know why I've got to bring
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I just had ice cream last night.
In need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
By that I went to Sonic and got a nice shake. It was so good.
Herbert.
Come on. Get off the freaking field. Golly. Instead, we just let Keenan Allen get the first.
We've reached the 1-minute mark in this game.
They don't have a lot of timeouts.
This is caught by Williams.
Here we go. Tackle Mike Williams.
Get this to about the 44-yard
they still
line.
probably have a little ways to go to get in field goal range.
Get up and get set.
I might be giving up too much space here.
It to Eckler underneath.
All right, he did gain the first.
Taken down right at the 40-yard line.
So that marks the range for the field goal shot. Pick, yes, let's go, Browns.
For a poor throw, it's intercepted.
Oh my gosh, that was clutch.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And they will finally
I didn't care about scoring there. I just wanted to try to wind down some clock, and let's just take a knee and get out of here. No sense of running up the score now. That was huge. Picked it off. Game over. Wow. And after that terrible out-of-bounds cheese that happened on that last drive, I got so scared, y'all. Because they didn't even have to burn their last timeout. They could have used that timeout, and they were on field goal range, and they threw it. I understood they were trying to get a little closer, but I probably would have run it in that situation. Instead, they throw it. Herbert gets hit. We force the pressure, and we intercept the pass, and it's over. Wow.
Into the divisional round.
Everyone plays all year long for the right to get into the
tournament. So we're moving on to the divisional round.
Wild card, divisional, doesn't matter.
Pretty crazy first playoff win.
One moves on, one goes home.
That pick was absolutely clutch. It was huge.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the N.
So now we're moving on to the divisional round, and let's see who we play next. My guess is that it's going to be Buffalo, which will be tougher than the Chargers, 100%. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Nope, it's the Chiefs. Wow. We got Mahomes going on the road in Kansas City. This is the same matchup that the 2020 Browns had. Mahomes got hurt. Chad Henne finished the game. Mayfield was actually primed to possibly win this game, and they couldn't get it done. So here we go. Going to play the moments again. Divisional round. Chiefs. Here we come. Double check, make sure we have the right uniform on. Let's go with the brown pants. That's fine. All right. Road doesn't get any easier. Got the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Definitely not easy. And after that close win that we had, things are not going to get any easier for the Brownies. Hopefully the dog pound travels well over to Kansas City, because we're going to need that home support.
Tonight.
The Chiefs are 13-3. They're 13-4. They're on a roll. And it's raining in the Arrowhead. That's fun. No, not really. And this is where they're putting us back to the 6.
They begin this drive with Chubb.
Maybe Nick Chubb will have a better game running the football, so maybe that'll help us out a little bit.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down. Looking to throw. Watson.
Here we go.
That's complete.
Nice route, Bell. I'll tell you, Bell was beasting in the last game.
Before he's taken down.
Hopefully he'll do the same for us
for 21 yards on the catch and run. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
A little inside zone here with Chubb.
They go up the
good blocking. There we go, offensive line.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. From the 50, it's Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch.
Drilled, but still got 9 yards.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They go with Chubb on second down. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Get
fancy with it. Just
2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Back to throw. Watson. He's going to look end zone here for Cooper.
Oh, but that's a penalty. Yeah, that's a pass interference call right there.
Is going to move the ball well downfield.
Thought I had a chance to catch it. I used her and everything.
Trying to
First
cover
and 10.
Cooper there a little too
Got the ball at the
close.
1 yard line. Let's go. Big penalty right on the opening drive to help us out.
Hard to stay with him and hard to figure out exactly where the break points.
Touchdown Chubb.
Into the end zone.
Makes it 4 playoff touchdowns for Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb taking it in from.
Looks like the Chiefs didn't score on their first possession, which is a little bit surprising. And we got a short field here, probably after a turnover.
1st and 10. On 1st down, Watson. That's out to
That
Chubb,
block.
complete.
Now that screen pass actually worked pretty well.
The 10 to the 9.
And we're in the second quarter now.
7-0 on EA Sports. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
And another wide open running lane for the touchdown.
Browns.
And we are stunning the Arrowhead crowd in this
first half.
Up 14-0. Chiefs are going to come back, though. Don't you worry. They're going to fight back. This ain't over.
This offense has been clicking.
All right, well, they didn't
here
score
in the first
again.
half. They've got the sizable margin. Now can they add to it here?
I still want to build on this lead. Show no mercy.
Watson's throw
It's the playoffs.
taken in by Cooper here.
Run.
And now they're in the
No
hurry
huddle
up.
here.
On 1st and 10, Watson. They'll try
Oh,
and
that
set
screen
up the
pass
screen.
did
It's
not set
complete.
very well. Call timeout.
No gain on the screen there. It's
Reset.
2nd down. Now the
Get out of
Browns
this
will use the
formation
first of their 3 timeouts
Figure something
as
out
they'll
here.
talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Watson looks to throw again.
And despite the weather, Watson's been dealing so far in this game with the football, so
And
doing
he'll
okay.
be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 33. Back to throw again.
start away.
And
Pressure was coming right in
options.
his
He just
face.
tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone.
Oh, he's out of bounds. I thought he had it.
Complete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw again.
Here we go. Peoples-Jones, 1st down. Nice catch.
And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 17-yard line.
For a timeout
So
situation
from
or
the
our center.
17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll hit the
Cooper.
slant route. That's caught by Cooper. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
And another touchdown for Chubb. 3 touchdowns in this one.
Browns touchdown.
I know I'm favoring that, but hey, when you get down to the 1 yard line, you can just run it in with Chubb, who's a solid back. I think you just do that. I'll go with that one more often than not. And now we're in the 3rd quarter, and we're up 21 points on the road in Kansas City. This is kind of unreal. I didn't think that this was going to be a possibility. I thought it would be way more of a challenge.
And this won't do it. He needed 6.
And Brown couldn't get that 1st down, so we're punting for the first time today.
So now on
So they want us to attempt this field goal?
And wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47.
I don't know what York's career long is, but
and this is good.
he got it.
57 yards.
57-yard field goal
right
for
there.
Katie York.
And the route is on. It's 24-0.
Dominating this game. Well, the Chiefs are obviously
Nothing
going
to
for it.
lose
It's the
now.
4th
This
quarter, and they have
offense
no
forced
points
to
on the
go for
scoreboard.
it.
So
Down
they're
a
going
bunch
for
here
this.
in the 4th quarter. They'll try and run for it.
Yeah, Pacheco got it.
And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the 1st.
And the Chiefs did score. They must have gone for 2 and didn't get it. They're going for the onside kick. Hopefully we can still recover even though we're not in the right formation.
And all the Chiefs have it.
And we don't. It's fine. So they still got a lot of points to make up. They're 4th and 15
now. This offense forced to go for it. Down a bunch here in the 4th quarter. Now Mahomes got to have this one.
Oh, and it's a pick.
Trying for Smith-Schuster.
There we go.
Intercepted. Picked off by John Johnson. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. Well, I guess an interception.
That'll probably just about wrap it up. I don't really know how much more the Chiefs can spare.
A red zone alert as we get you back into the action. This offense coming up on a 2nd down and 3 to go. Up the middle, it's Chubb.
They're showing no resistance for the running game.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
93 got 100 yards rushing
on the ground
for Chubb in this
now
game.
As he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
I'm going to waste some clock here, let it run down a little bit. Really surprised that we struggled more against the Chargers than we have with the Chiefs in this game.
Fairly minimal pickup.
That one against the Chargers was way closer than this one.
2nd and goal now. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
This game is
all of a sudden
pretty
those
much
lanes
over.
That were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
A give. This is Chubb.
Another touchdown for Chubb. That's 4 touchdowns for the night. Unbelievable. Well, it's 4th and 9. Chiefs are going 4th and Friday at this
forced to go for it. Down a bunch here in the 4th quarter.
Probably one of the worst defeats in Mahomes' career if this was real life.
Mahomes going to go on 4th down. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster.
And we pick it off again.
Picked off by Grant Delpit. And a big turnover there.
That'll do it.
Guys
just run the game out for us and have at it.
Moving on to the conference championship.
So we blow out the Chiefs in the rain in Arrowhead, 31-6.
That can get you to the Super Bowl. A fantastic season.
Did not expect this matchup to be tougher than the Chargers game.
Tough way for it to end.
This was pretty surprising. But we're going to the AFC Championship game. More than likely, got a feeling it's going to be against the Buffalo Bills. So that'll be pretty tough. We lost to them in the regular season, which wasn't too surprising, but we got to play them in the AFC Championship. You know, the winner goes to the Super Bowl. Upgrade our players. And it is against the Bills. AFC Championship. 10-7 against 15-2. Had a monumental upset against the Chiefs. And now we got to go against the Buffalo Bills. Up there in West New York. And win this game. The winner goes to the Super Bowl. This is a little bit of a classic matchup. You know, the Browns and Bills met in the playoffs in 1989. That was really the birthplace for the Bills and their no-huddle offense. But the Browns have never made it to a Super Bowl. The drive, the fumble, red right 88, the move. The list goes on and on for Cleveland sports fans of just futility. And I'm here to help deliver a championship. This may be a rebuild, and I don't know if you could really consider a rebuild being of a Super Bowl championship team in their first season, but that's what we're possibly aiming for right now. And maybe winning a Super Bowl can convince a lot of players to stay and run it back. But hey, we got to get to the championship game first. So here we go against the Buffalo Bills. The last time I did a rebuild in the 3rd year, I believe, with the Texans, I managed to make it all the way to the AFC Championship game. We lost to the Broncos in Mile High. We lost to the Broncos on the road off of a terrible fumble by Nico Collins. I still remember what was happening in that game. We can't come this far just to blow it in the AFC title game. Got to take care of business against the Bills. We had a little bit of a surprising cakewalk last week in Kansas City. But in Buffalo, it may be snowing up there. Well, it's not snowing, but it's probably still pretty cold.
From Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park.
The Bills are rocking the red uniforms for the AFC title game. Let's go and win this game. We got to go. Chance for us to go to the Super Bowl. This is the farthest the Cleveland Browns have made it since they've been reborn in 1999. They've never made it to the AFC Championship game this far, and the entire franchise history, they never made it to the Super Bowl. Time to get there.
He gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 30.
But I didn't think it would be from a former Texan and player who's been accused of doing some pretty nasty stuff as your quarterback. But that's what Watson is doing right now, or attempting to do, in Cleveland.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
The football purists may not love it. And Watson could very well be the quarterback that is responsible for leading the Browns to a Super Bowl berth. Jakeem Grant.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted.
I was getting a little cocky on that throw. Tried to hit my guy Jakeem Grant from Texas Tech, but it didn't work. Unfortunately, we start off the AFC Championship game pretty poorly, throwing an interception on our very first possession. But we're on defense here, and we got a chance to right the wrong. The Bills have driven the ball pretty well here.
Let's get into the action.
3rd and 10.
Allen to throw once more.
Intercept that. Oh, that was way off. That didn't have a chance of getting the Diggs. That was not a very good throw by Allen. But they do get a field goal, so they're up 3-0. First time we trailed all playoffs. Hopefully it won't be for long.
A shotgun snap for Watson.
Is it Bell? Here we go, Bell. Bell's been decent in the playoffs. And we get a key 3rd down conversion right there to keep the drive alive. Love to see it.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right.
Run, Watson. Run.
Oh, good move. And
First down.
This near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. They give to Chubb out of the gun. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Goal.
The lone man in the backfield here is Chubb on 2nd and goal. Here's Watson.
Touchdown, Amari Cooper, wide open on the slant. We take the lead back quickly here in Buffalo.
A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns have...
Let's see, looks like the Bills are driving.
Let's jump back into the action with this defense.
That's the end of the first quarter. We're up 7-3, but the Bills are knocking at the door.
7-3 the score.
Here comes Josh Allen. Madden 24 cover athlete. I think it's pretty cool. It's good for the Bills, too. I mean, this franchise has struggled for so long. They can use it. But if the Madden curse gets to Josh Allen, don't say I didn't warn you, Buffalo Bills fans. That's all I'm saying.
And they trail 7-3, but
in the meantime, they gained about 7 yards. So,
hoping to limit them to
we jump
to preserve the lead.
Hopefully it's a false start. Oh yeah, it's on them. Okay, great, cool. I thought we jumped early, but we didn't.
Accepted, and it backs the offense up.
2nd down and 8 now.
They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8.
A little bit here on our defense. They're adjusting as well. Oh, get him tackled. There we go.
Call it a gain of a yard.
If he didn't throw it, if he threw it outside instead of inside, that might have been a touchdown. Because the other guy was running a route that wasn't taking him near those defenders, so he would have been able to probably run around him and get a touchdown. And instead, on the next play, we get a sack from Myles Garrett to force a 4th down.
Myles Garrett. And they're to drop him for a 6-yard
play right
loss,
there
and that
Myles.
will lead to 4th down.
Pretty sure he made the Pro Bowl this year. I'll have to check that in the menu, whether we win or lose this game. So we force a 4th down, but the Bills do tack on 3 points. So we're up by 1 still. However, If we can get another solid drive and score again, it'd be huge.
Time to get you back
Second
live
quarter.
again. This
Got a pretty good
offense
drive
in
going,
the
it
red
looks like, so
zone as
far.
They've got it 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
RP. Oh!
Man,
that was not a great throw by Watson.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were
Thought
just
it
trying to
Cooper
make
just
second
easily. You know,
down.
it's supposed to be just that
Second
quick
and
slant.
short.
You just
I think they thought the coverage
take
was
the snap,
off a little
look,
bit more
throw,
than it was.
there he is.
Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the
But I guess he just
incompletion.
wasn't there.
To the air yet
Or he wasn't
again.
looking. I don't
Watson.
know.
Slant route
Another
to
first down to
Bell.
Bell.
Yeah, the Browns are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Could be a big scoring play here. We are in the second quarter.
From the gun, it's
Chubb.
again to Chubb.
Touchdown for Chubb.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, a 6-yard touchdown run.
Nice job. All right. So we're still up 8 points, and we still got a chance to tag on some more before the end of the half. Let's see if we can do that.
Down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense. Watson on 3rd down.
Come on. Oh, dropped it.
Broken up.
And that was 3rd down, too. Figured I could probably get it. Oh, they want us to go for it on 4th and inches. Okay, coach.
Running for it.
There we go, Chubb. There we go.
And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line.
Still like to get, even if we just get a
offense
field
gonna
goal,
use the
take
first
it.
of
I don't
their
want to do anything
timeouts.
too risky. We'll just take the points. Even if it's a field goal.
Second quarter, this defense looking for a big 3rd down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Oh, no.
He's got
that was
Njoku, his big tight end.
It was 3rd
Now
down.
the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55.
Well, let's kick the field goal.
Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this 4th down field goal try for the Browns. York able to send this one through.
So we tag on 3 points. So that's pretty big. We're up by 11 now. It gives us a little bit more of a cushion, but not anywhere near home yet. Here come the Bills. Getting to a stalemate a little bit here. 3rd down and 3. We're still up 11.
Up in the 3rd quarter, and this defense.
If we keep this drive alive, that'd be huge.
3rd down into 4th.
Go Bell.
That's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
Oh, Peoples-Jones, excuse me.
And he's got a 1st down as a tackle made at the.
I'm so used to Bell making those key slant catches that I've been saying his name more often. So we are in another 3rd down situation. It's 3rd and 11.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson.
I really wanted to hit you, Kenny, but you know what? Let's run it with Watson. Maybe he can pick this up, and he does. 1st down.
At the 20-yard
Big play.
line.
Watson's like, I'm getting this team to a Super Bowl. He's determined. I love to see that.
Handoff comes to Chubb. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. Gregory Rousseau able to bring him down.
Into the 3rd quarter.
1 quarter remains until we
One more quarter to get to the Super Bowl. One more quarter, Cleveland. One more quarter.
Sports.
We can't come this far and not give our best effort in this game. You know what? No, let's go with a base. We may be going a little bit of a safer bet here. We'll not when it opens wide open like that. Big run for Chubb. We're knocking on the door of the Super Bowl. I can taste it.
And a 1st down as well.
Almost there,
chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Here's Watson.
Cooper. Touchdown, Amari Cooper. Let's go.
Cleveland. Amari Cooper.
2 touchdowns for Amari in this one.
Of the night.
Back on defense
Nothing
here.
to lose.
The Bills are
now.
going to try to still fight. This game is not over yet.
Down a bunch here in the
We're up 18,
quarter.
but we
Now
can get a
Allen,
couple of key
gotta
defensive
have this
stops. Might be able to send them home, and it was 4th down. Wow.
And they turn it over. The Bills
Over on downs. Our corner was playing that perfectly on that play.
So this offense looking at a 2nd and 4. The football inside the red zone. To throw again on 2nd down.
Cooper.
Watson. And this
Wide
is a
open.
rocket
Let's
pulled
go.
in by Cooper. Complete.
Down to the
And
1.
the Browns are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves
Expecting
them
that big
all
of
the
a
way
play,
down to
but
the
we'll take it.
1.
Watson is proving the doubters wrong. Cleveland is on the doorstep of a Super Bowl
Is in.
berth for the first
Touchdown,
time in their history.
Cleveland.
Wow. Touchdown, Chubb.
Charles, fans around here, they were already talking.
Pretty much the same score as the Chiefs game, and we still got a few more minutes to go.
One final try here for Allen.
And Diggs did get the first down.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
And the Bills.
All right, so here's the situation. Onside kick team out there. Receiving team needs to get their hands on this football.
I don't really
And the Browns are able to cover this one up.
It's okay, 42.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back.
That's probably it for the Bills. Pretty much just iced this by running the football.
4th quarter, and it's kind of getting to be desperation time here for this defensive
never mind.
side.
2-minute warning came first.
Back to their offense. They have a chance to do that on 3rd down. 4th quarter, and it's kind of getting to be desperation time here for this defensive side. They need to get the ball back to their offense. They have a chance to do that.
First down,
on
Chubb.
3rd down.
We're almost there to
He's
the Super
going to have
Bowl.
a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down. A lot of points put on the board so far by this offense. Now they're looking for more. Already winning here in the 2nd half, ball in the red zone.
I'm just going to kind of chill out and let the clock wind down.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line.
That is going to send us to the Super Bowl.
7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
Well, this rebuild isn't exactly shaping up like I thought. I thought this team was talented enough, just with no changes, to get to the playoffs and win the AFC North. Didn't think that if I control this team in the playoffs, we would be able to get all the way to the Super Bowl. But we have done it. And our toughest playoff matchup to get there was against the Chargers. But we took care of business in Kansas City and in Buffalo on the road. 2 very tough places to play.
They run. Chubb.
But we got it done.
And he's going to battle
Cleveland,
his way down right around the 2-yard
we're going to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns are in the Super Bowl. How about that?
The AFC champion has been crowned onto the Super Bowl. There cannot be a better feeling than this.
It's almost indescribable. And when we talk to players from the past, a lot of them mention getting to the Super Bowl, winning a conference championship, even before they talk about the Super Bowl itself. All that hard work to get to your goal, incredible.
And that'll close the books on the conference championship. For Charles Davis, myself, Brandon Gordon, and our entire crew, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
So we took care of business 100% in Buffalo. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Find out who we're playing. Also go and take a look at the NFC playoff bracket and see what happened over there. Because I haven't been checking to see what the other results have been on the NFC side of things. But Cleveland, we're going to the Super Bowl. And it looks like we're going to be playing against the San Francisco 49ers. How about that? So before we get into anything else, let's go to the playoff bracket here. So, in the rest of the AFC world, the Chiefs beat the Broncos. So they, of course, played against us, and we blew them out at home, or on the road, I should say. The Raiders beat the Jaguars. That's a bit of an upset. And the Raiders lost to the Bills big in the divisional round. And on the NFC side of things, 49ers beat the Packers. Aaron Rodgers may or may not be leaving. Who knows? And the Giants beat the Bears. Blew them out big time. And the Cowboys beat the Panthers. Go Cowboys. And rinse and repeat. The 49ers beat the Cowboys by 12. And the Eagles beat the Giants. So that's the same divisional matchup pretty much. And NFC Championship game, the 49ers shut out the Eagles in Philadelphia by 33-0. Wow, unbelievable. So the top seed in the NFC doesn't score a single point in the NFC Championship game. How about that? And it's going to be the Browns facing the 49ers. Interesting Super Bowl matchup, to say the least. And Cleveland, we're going to the big game. But first things first, let's go ahead and do some, let's go ahead and upgrade our staff here. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. Well, needless to say, Kevin Stefanski has earned another year in Cleveland. So there's no question about our coaching staff moving forward, win or lose in the Super Bowl. So that's another big thing. So this rebuild is kind of going to be about reshaping the team to maybe run it back and repeat as Super Bowl champions if we win this game. So we'll see what happens there. So it is Pro Bowl week, but of course we're not going to have any Pro Bowlers in there because we're going to the Super Bowl. So we're not going to have any guys playing. So let's go ahead and advance the week and get to Super Bowl week. All right. Super Bowl 57, I believe. We're here. Let's go win it. So what a difference Deshaun Watson makes playing the full season his first year in Cleveland. No suspensions, no off-the-field problems, nothing. And the Browns are in the Super Bowl getting ready to play the 49ers. Unbelievable. A team, so this is a pretty interesting matchup. A team that's won many championships playing against a team that's never even been to the Super Bowl. The storylines this week are unbelievable. And here we are.
Tonight on EA Sports.
We're in the Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. Unbelievable. But let's go win it. They've already got a good drive going.
After the interception, here's
Cooper
Watson.
picking up right where he left off in the AFC Championship game with the touchdown. Let's go.
Amari Cooper.
And the first quarter is just about over.
This defense already
Back
looking
on
at a
offense.
deficit on the scoreboard, but now what can they design here to disrupt this third down play? From the gun on third, Watson.
Here we go, Bell.
Throw complete to
First
Bell.
down on a third down.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be...
And we went down and scored to finish the drive. 49ers came back and got a touchdown. Now we're on a 3rd and 2. Looking to keep the pressure on the Niners.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb.
Come on, Chubb. There we go.
And he's got the
First
first
down.
as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. Second quarter, this defense looking for a big third down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Oh, that was a
And heavy
terrible
traffic,
decision.
and it's intercepted.
I got lazy with that throw.
And the 49ers are going to
Oof,
have it here.
not a good
at
decision
their
there
own
by Watson.
32-yard line.
But then again, I can't blame Watson. I was the one who decided to let him throw that football. So now it's 1st and 10. We're on defense for the first time in the game. And Brock Purdy is in at quarterback.
Again, it's Purdy to throw it. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the
Here we go.
quarterback.
Don't let him
They're
get
forced to
far
make
after that
errant
catch.
throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
They're trying to tie this game up before the half.
Going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Purdy with it on 3rd and long.
Tackle there.
Right side.
Yeah, 2 yards short. Let's go, Cleveland.
And he'll be brought down shy of the first down marker.
So force into a field goal. That's fine.
And the 39-year-old veteran puts it right through.
So the Niners tack on 3.
4 now at 14-10. A big play coming up for this defensive unit. They're down, but just by a bit on the scoreboard. Can they get this 3rd down stop in the 3rd quarter? They'll get this to Bell.
Another first down. There we go.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be...
Going to keep the pressure on the Niners.
And Chubb try the middle here. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. The tackle by Eric Armstead. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run it again with Chubb. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage.
King Grant, oh, he dropped it. I thought he had that ball.
Somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this 4th down field goal.
Let's kick the field goal. Tack on 3 as well, and we go up back in by 7.
By a touchdown now at 17.
Solid lead, but need a little bit of a cushion than that. I'm not a fan of Super Bowl blowouts, but at least want a good cushion. And now we're in the 4th quarter, so now this is crunch time. Got to make the plays that are going to give us the championship. Smart decisions, smart plays, and that might not have been a smart decision right there.
He's a yard short.
We can kick a field goal, and I think that's fine. All right. Well, they want us to go for it on 4th and 1. Wow. A little surprised Stefanski would say this.
They'll run for it.
No. Oh, my gosh. Oh.
And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down.
He did? Wow, he got it. Wow, that was close. That was too close. I thought he was stopped well short. And by well short, I mean a couple of yards short. Stretch play. Get that block. Or not. Just let me run past you.
At the 2-yard line. 75 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance. Believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Not quite there yet.
Yard that time, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to Chubb.
Touchdown, it's wide open for Nick Chubb. Let's go.
It's a 1-yard touchdown run, and the Browns are starting to pull away.
So we got a little bit of a cushion going on here in the Super Bowl, but here come the Niners. Not done yet. This is a tough 4th down for them right here.
Is staying out there on 4th.
Oh, they picked it up.
That is Ayuk. And he is going.
And they get 7. So we're back on defense.
The task for the defense here is
2 minutes.
Get a stop.
Well, over 2 minutes.
Score, 7-point lead. Purdy to throw it on 1st down.
That's a decent start.
And he works it across the 20.
It's a big defensive series. Tie this thing up if they get down the field in enough time.
Give them a 1st down.
No, they're not going to get downfield in time before the 2-minute warning. Or at least not super far downfield.
This one into the hands of Kittle.
Why is Kittle open like that?
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
All right.
The Niners have the first
2 minutes
down
left
on
in
a
the
gain
Super
of
Bowl.
11.
We're up by
Fourth
7,
quarter,
trying to give
down to the
Cleveland their
final
first
2
world
minutes,
championship.
and we've got a
Well, not
one-score
world
game.
championship, but Super
So
Bowl
it's
championship.
49er football here as we
Because they
get
won
you
championships in
reset.
the 60s,
They come up
50s.
on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
Purdy's throw taken in by
Tackle, there we go. He
And
didn't
they'll
get it.
get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
We're going to go no huddle
The
here.
49ers moving hastily. They're scurrying to the line.
Get in there and get the sack. Oh, okay. Or just force the pressure. There we go.
Incomplete.
Incomplete. Let's go.
So he's
Gotta
unable
rise to the
complete
challenge
it
here,
there.
defense.
Just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he
Tipped
just
away. Let's
just
go.
a bit?
Good defense.
Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Fourth and 3. This is it for the Niners.
They'll run with a fullback. Use check.
Dang it,
He's
just
got the
check.
first down before being taken down at the 46.
But then again, they need 7, not 3.
Crisis averted, but they still need to move hastily. Now a throw here to his
How did I
running
miss
back.
that tackle on
And the
McCaffrey?
tackle gonna be made at the
Oh,
38.
God. I just blazed right
Counting
past
down
him.
toward a minute to go in this football game.
But
Here's
then again, I
Purdy.
over-pursued. That was my own fault.
Another grab here for the dynamic Christian McCaffrey.
Well, they're dinking and dunking, which is fine, but they need a touchdown. They can't settle.
To throw.
Pick!
Huge
It's
mistake
over.
late. It's intercepted.
Just go down. It's over. Let's go,
And the
Browns.
Browns have just about sewn up this football game.
They brought the house
Browns
that time on the young.
Are going to win the Super Bowl. First year of the rebuild, even though I took over at the beginning of the season, Sonny Weaver Jr.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb.
takes over. We made one trade. I know it wasn't anything too spectacular.
Now going to use the
Came
first
into
of their
really an already
timeouts.
set team in
As
this
the clock will
rebuild,
stop
but
with 37
we're Super Bowl
seconds to
champions.
play. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Unbelievable.
Here's Watson, option
It's okay,
left.
Watson. Go ahead and
He's
carry the
dropped
ball.
right at
Deserve
the
a little
40.
bit
Gain of
of, little
3.
bit of that.
Now a second
Down
timeout
here.
called
I think it's
for by
third
the
down.
defense. As they'll stop it with a little over
Still gotta
30
get this
ticks to
first.
go in the football game.
Really
Coming
iced
up
this
here
one.
looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd down, it's
First
Nick
down,
Chubb.
Chubb.
And he is going to
go.
have
He's
the
probably gonna
first
be
down,
MVP.
and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd.
Or maybe
Now the
Watson.
defense will burn their
We'll see
third
what
and
they do at the
final
end of the game.
timeout. And as the two teams
Best
talking
formation
over
in
on
all
their
of football,
respective
quarterback
sidelines, we take a break. And they'll indeed take a knee. That is likely the final play of this game, and no better feeling, I would imagine, than taking a knee to wrap up the Super Bowl.
Culminates everything. The championship is theirs.
Wow.
And just think, the last
This
play
was
they had
definitely
in
a tighter
practice
game. The
before this
49ers
game
gave us
began was
our
doing this.
gave us our
Practicing taking
toughest
a knee
challenge since the
and
wild
winning a
card
Super Bowl.
round.
And they get to do
But we
just
survived
that.
and we're
How
Super
about
Bowl
this?
champions
The
in the
dog
first
pound
year of
gets
the
the
rebuild.
crowd.
How about
The
that? So
Cleveland
Stefanski,
Browns are the
you're
Super
going to be
Bowl
our
champs.
coach for this rebuild. And look, I know that, you can say
For
the
the
rebuild has
victors,
basically
getting to
been
hoist
completed.
that
Yes.
Lombardi
I mean,
trophy.
hey, this is the
We've
first
talked to
championship
guys
for the
that have done it,
Cleveland
and they
Browns.
say there's no
Ever.
better feeling in
So
sports.
history
I don't know
has
how
been
there
achieved
can be.
in
The
this
journey
live
to
stream
get to
for this
game
rebuild
is
already.
incredible. And then to
Now,
finally break
can
through
we
and win it
rebuild a
with
team
all
based on our
eyes
salary
this
cap
game
situation,
alone,
which
'cause
is
there's
pretty
nothing
tough,
else going on,
and run it
that's
back
just
in
got to be
2023?
absolutely amazing.
That's
That-
the biggest
task,
question.
Incredible.
It's gonna be tough.
The accomplishment, forever.
We'll see. But Cleveland, you can stand up and salute your Browns. You can be proud to be a Browns fan now. The Browns are world champions. First Super Bowl win ever. This erases all the bad memories, Cleveland sports fans. The drive, the fumble, Red
They
Right
are the
88,
Super Bowl
Art
champs. The
Modell,
Lombardi Trophy is
Tim
theirs, and so are
Couch,
bragging rights for
all
an
of that,
entire
forget
season.
it.
What a season it has been.
The
Feels
Browns
like
are
we have
Super
been
Bowl
there
champions,
every
led
step
by
of the
Deshaun
way. Our
Watson.
entire crew doing a wonderful job. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports.
Hold up that trophy high, boys. Y'all deserve it. So first rebuild that I've managed to lead a team to a Super Bowl victory albeit in the first season, but still, there's more to be done in the offseason. Not exactly sure how long I've been streaming for, but it's probably been well over, maybe almost at the 2-hour mark. I'm still going to do the off-season and see what we can do about all those contracts and everything. Obviously, I'm happy that we won the championship in the first year of the rebuild, and we didn't really have to do anything to rebuild this team and make them a Super Bowl champion and put them over the top. But Denzel Ward was the MVP. Surprising. NFL MVP went to Joe Burrow. Coach of the Year, Doug Peterson. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. Defensive Player of the Year, Von Miller. Isaiah Pacheco won Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Aiden Hutchinson wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Lions. How about that? So, the rebuild basically has been completed, but to give Cleveland their first championship. But now, what can we do in the offseason with a very, very tough salary cap situation? What can we do? Can we run it back, or are we going to severely struggle with repeating as world champions? That's the question that this rebuild is really about. So let's go ahead and take a look at the retirements and see if we had anybody leave us. No retirements, but let's see what's going on around the rest of the league. Let's go ahead and go to the AFC North. So Calais Campbell's retiring, and so is Kevin Zeitler. He's a former Brown. Let's go with the whole NFL. Brandon Williams is retiring. Kyle Long, Jerry Hughes, Marcus Cannon, Tyson Alolu, Al Woods, Campbell, Zeter, Harris, Folk, Hoyer, McCourty, Dwayne Brown, Joe Flacco, Trent Williams. Final game was a Super Bowl. That's not a bad way to go. Jason Kelsey retired. Okay. Thought maybe he'd play one more year. Chad Henne retired. Beecham. Julio Jones is retiring. So is Kareem Jackson, Case Keenum, Josh Johnson. And no sign of Tom Brady. And head coach Pete Carroll is retiring as well. So Tom Brady's still going to play next season. Wow. Sometimes in these modes that happens. So let's go ahead and go to the negotiating screen. This is going to be our final chance to negotiate before free agency begins. And we've got cap room here. So now we got $34 million. So let's go ahead and really see who wants to come back first. That's the main thing. What can we do? So some of these players' re-sign interest has changed. So I think Stevenson actually, he fits our scheme and he's a 70 overall. Let's go ahead and bring him back. Happy to sign. Cool, thank you. All right, let's see if we can bring back Hunt to help with the backfield. You know what? I actually don't want to be locked in. Let's do a franchise tag. Like, let's lowball him. Like to play for a new team next year. But let's give him the franchise tag. So we got $19 million left right now. And I don't think really with any of the rest of these guys, Greedy Williams, let's go ahead and see if we can bring him back on a deal that isn't too crazy. 2 years, let's do it. Exactly the offer I'm looking for. Great. Thank you, sir. Who else can we consider? Pharaoh Brown. So since we released Jesse James already, let's go ahead and bring back Brown. Even though he stepped out of bounds, let's go with a neutral offer. Exactly the offer he was hoping for. Cool. So that's it. Everybody else is walking. And let's get into... let's go ahead and go to Mock Draft 3 and see who they have us projected to take. We won the championship, so we're going to have the last pick. However, we do have a first-round pick. We have another first-round pick because of a trade that we made for that offensive lineman, which, looking back on it, is okay. See, we have the 23rd pick, so we got... And they're projecting us to take Sakai Ika, who's a defensive tackle from Baylor. Solid. And we do have the last pick of the first... No, actually, we don't. But we got a first-round pick, so now we can take that defensive tackle, which probably is a good pick because we could use some help on defense just to keep building things up there. Scouting, manage, advance week. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and advance. We're going to start the whole free agency saga here. Bringing back Kareem Hunt on the franchise tag I think is solid. This will probably be his last year in Cleveland. We'll probably let him walk after this season. So let's go ahead and see how much cap room we may have to spend to be able to sign free agents because I don't think we're going to have very much. But it's okay.
View a player's motivation. You have 3 evaluation periods.
So we have $11.2 million in cap room, so that's not too bad. So in terms of what we really need, let me go actually to our roster and take a look and see what players we might just need to sign for depth reasons. Because we did let Jadeveon Clowney walk in free agency. So we have a need on our defensive line, probably. So let's take a look here. So we need to get probably a backup quarterback. Running backs, we're pretty set on. We don't need to really worry about running backs probably even in the draft. Receiver, we're still pretty good. We could get another receiver probably in the draft, but that's fine. Tight ends were good. Left guards were good. Let's see, what's our center rating? So Nick Harris is our new starting center projected right now, 70 overall. That's good. We need a right guard. I think in free agency we definitely got to sign a right guard. And we need a left end as well. We can always move one of these guys to the other side, but yeah. And we could use another left outside linebacker or right or middle linebacker. Safeties are okay. Kickers and so our special teams is okay. That's going to remain intact. But we could definitely use linebacker help, and we could definitely use. We could use help at defensive tackle, which I think if Ika from Baylor is still there, we might take him to be our new starting defensive tackle. So we need a left end. That's probably a big position we're going to need. So let's go ahead and kind of really focus on defensive ends first. So let's see who is out here. Left end. Brandon Graham is out here. He's going to get some looks. 79 overall. He just wants a neutral deal. Let's see if this will do it. But now but this is like the only legit offer that we can make. So you know what? It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of teams gunning for him. So let's go with a team-friendly option instead. See if we can maybe save some money. So for 1 year, okay. But now we're down to $2 million, and that's it. So this first wave is going to be just pretty much Brandon Graham, and that's it. So let's go ahead and advance to stage 2, the next free agency wave, because we got no money to spend this offseason. Let's see about Graham. Let's see if he is even considering our offer. If some team is offering him more, we may be in trouble and we may lose out on him. We got him. All right, so we got Brandon Graham. It's only a 1-year deal, but losing Clowney, he's one notch below him, and he also fits our scheme, and he's a veteran player. He's not looking for, He's probably looking to be, maybe get one more ring, which he can do here. I mean, we just won a Super Bowl here in Cleveland. So that's an attraction. But we have no more money to spend. So, honestly, guys, as far as free agency, this is going to have to do it. Because we got no more money to spend in the offseason. We're just going to have to draft guys. But before we get into the draft, I got to really narrow down what positions we absolutely have to draft. Because I feel like just getting Graham at a new defensive end for the left side is only going to do so much. We're going to need some more. We could use another receiver, but we don't want to spend that kind of money yet in the first round. We have no right guard, so we have to draft a right guard. And we may have to go with that in the first round. We can always move Thomas or Wright to the left side of the line. But Ika is a solid option too at defensive tackle. Fortunately, the only position that we have no players at, the thing is, the position we have no players at is right guard. We have no right guards on the roster, so we really have to go get a right guard. So let me go to Mock Draft 4 and see if there's any offensive linemen. It won't even let me look. So let's go ahead and go into the draft. We could probably still look at some things before we start the draft, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do a final mock draft, and we can take a look and see what they're projecting us to do. I won't mind going with Ika, but let's see if there's a guard or offensive lineman who can play guard, who's up there, we can take. So we're still projected to take Ika. And there's really no other top-rated offensive linemen, so we may just have to spend a second-round pick on an offensive lineman, which is fine. Because I still want to take the best player available. And I think taking Ika is an okay move. And the only free agent we signed was Brandon Graham, so it is what it is. We got no money to spend, so we can only spend money in really one area. And we're going to draft, so we're going to have more players fill up the roster. Start drafting.
The Arizona Cardinals are now on the clock.
Let's go and make our selection, and let's see if Ike is still here. Hopefully he is. I don't see him. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Sakai Ika. They projected us to take him, and you know what? We need a starting defensive tackle. Let's take him.
It's the Cleveland Browns, now on the clock.
Welcome to the Browns, Ika. Solid looking defensive tackle. And here we are in the second round. And we were able to get that first round pick from the Chargers. Exchange for that offensive lineman as well. Okay, so we need a right guard. Let's take Emil Ikiofer Jr. from Alabama. We just need a right guard. We can't.
The Cleveland Browns are
We can't
now
let that
on
pass
the
us.
clock.
We just took a need. He was the best available guard on the board, so he's going to be our starter this season. All right. And now what we really also need is we could use another center, and we could use another receiver. What about on defense? What else do we need on defense? Oh, yeah, linebackers. Austin Roth. We do need a left outside linebacker, so let's take Justin. We're really taking needs in this draft because we have no money, so we couldn't spend any money to bring in any free agents, at least in the first offseason of this rebuild after winning a championship. Let's see here. All right, so what do we still need on defense? A middle linebacker we definitely need as well. Let's take Donovan Michaels out of USC. Drafting back-to-back linebackers,
With
but
the next selection, the
it's needed.
Browns are on the clock.
I think some of these players, when we get towards the later rounds, are not real, but it's okay. Let's see. On defense, what else do we kind of need? We don't really need any. Let's see. We have offensive line. We have two. One there. Okay. Could use another offensive lineman. Let's take Jaleel Scantleberry out of Kentucky. Nice last name. We don't really need specifically a right tackle, but we could use more offensive line depth. This draft really has to address the O-line to get some help. I know Watson was doing pretty well this season, but he needs protection. And we could use also, let's go back to defense. We took a defensive end, we took a middle linebacker, a left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker. I think we're okay. Left end, we could use another left end as well. But left ends are not really ranked highly here. So what's ranked higher? Like tight ends, we have 3 of them. We don't really need another tight end. We could use another corner, but yeah. Let's take George Starks from Oregon State. Just picking players that are, rated at least decently. Could use another receiver. That's fine. Another skill position guy. And we don't have many picks left.
Are now on the clock.
This is probably our second to last pick. So yeah, this is our second to last pick, so we have to make these count. You know what? We need to get a left defensive end. We're taking a need. What are these guys rated? He's a okay, Brian Stanley, run stopper. He fits our scheme. He's a day 3 selection. He's out of Oklahoma. Let's take him. We're kind of just trying to get guys to fill up the roster, if you will. So we're going to take Stanley. And let's see what else we've got. 7th round pick.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns.
The final selection of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. We got Mr. Irrelevant this year. I mean, we drafted 2 linebackers, I think. We could really use probably, what kind of quarterbacks are out here? Colt Gore from South Dakota State. Potential is undrafted free agent. But he fits our scheme. Let's go ahead and take him. We'll probably sign another quarterback as a street free agent if we have cap room, which I don't think we will. So that's kind of unfortunate. So draft, not really anything spectacular, especially due to the salary cap situation that we're in. So let's go ahead and adjust the roster here. We can change positions and kind of get a feel for who might have to move to different positions on the offense and defense. So Colt Gore is a 55 overall. He's our backup quarterback right now. But, you know, we needed somebody to back up Watson. Our running back room is pretty stacked. We didn't take care of any fullbacks, but you know what? We don't really use a fullback, so I don't think that's really necessary. Receivers are looking good. George Starks is coming in at a 69 overall as a rookie out of Oregon State. That's solid for a late-round pick. Tight ends are good. Left tackle's pretty good. We're pretty good at left guard, too. We didn't address center. Emilia Kifo Jr. is going to be our starter at a 68 overall. I'm not a fan of that out of Alabama, but we're going to have to go with it. And Brandon Graham and Brian Stanley is backing him up. That's really the biggest change. So we're cool on depth for that. And Sakai Ika is now our starting defensive tackle, our first-round pick, 75 overall. He's got a higher overall than Elliott or Winfrey, so he's going to have his hands full right off the bat. And we also drafted another. We drafted a left outside linebacker, I believe. Yeah, we got Roth. He was our second-round pick, 64 overall. And Jacob Phillips is now our projected starter at 69 overall. Ratings are not very good, but then we have Donovan as well. Right outside linebacker, Jeremiah Wusso-Carrero, and then Tony Fields, Newsome, Greedy. We have only 3 total safeties. So as far as the makeup of this roster, it's extremely small. But due to the contracts that we're paying to these hefty guys, we're really just going to have to kind of go with it. Don't really need to change positions. You only have 47 guys on the roster, so yeah. So can we even sign anybody as a free agent? We probably can't, but, you know. For the year, maybe we can at least take a look and see. Let me take a look at the team's salary here. Let's see what we're looking like. Which cap room do we even have? 2.98 million. Yeah. What big contracts are really eating up at the cap? John Johnson is on the last year of his deal. And so is Willis. Peoples-Jones. You know what? Maybe we can trade Peoples-Jones. Hate to do this to a 80 overall receiver, but we're struggling with, you know, salary cap. So what team needs a good receiver? Looks like no team needs a receiver. So if that's the case, we're not going to probably trade Peoples-Jones then. Grant Delpit, safety. Punter's on the last year of his deal. Elliott's on the last year of his deal as well. Harris is now our starting center, so we can't. I don't want to get rid of him. Forbes, final year of his deal. But, of course, all the rest of our rookies, they got 4 more years here, so yeah. What are the highest-rated guys that have, like, maybe 1 more year left on their contract, if anybody? Chubb's got 2 more years left. Cooper's got 2. Yeah, Hunt. John Johnson, 82 overall, though, safety. That's hard to come by. I really don't want to I don't really want to trade him. Let's really see if we can possibly trade Peoples-Jones. This is the business of the NFL. What team just isn't very good? Maybe the Titans. They might want him. And in return, I mean, we're really asking just for picks. Maybe a first rounder. This may be tough for Peoples-Jones. 80 overall. Trade declined. What about a second rounder? Trade still declined. All right, well, let's see about another team. I don't want to trade him in the division. Maybe the Saints. Chris Olave. They could use somebody to possibly, pair with him. Nah, but they're not going to give me the 6th overall pick for him. No, I didn't mean to do that again. Maybe the Ravens. They could probably use another receiver. Maybe the 18th pick. It's maybe tough, but yeah. Yeah, actually, I shouldn't be trading in the division. What about the Raiders? Let's try a second rounder from them. This is a lower second round, so maybe they'll take him. Trade decline. We don't feel we could afford to move a player at position right now. Okay. Shoot. Maybe okay, well, the Raiders might be just out. So maybe Carolina? Second rounder? Let's see if they're talking about anything. Trade still declined. What we've given up. Okay. The Packers could probably use another receiver. Especially since, Adams isn't there anymore. And I don't know how those new guys are panning out. Yeah, looks like we're struggling to trade Peoples anyway. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep him. What else can we do? Yeah, either way, Peoples will probably not be a Brown after this season. He's on the last year of his contract. And Willis, who's a great left tackle, you have to let him walk as well. Well, this live stream has been a very long one, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I know this isn't really the most traditional rebuild, seeing as though we won a Super Bowl in the very first year that I took over, but we're trying to rebuild, and we're trying to get out of salary cap hell right now. Trying to keep, the group that brought us a championship last year mostly intact if we can. Rebuild, try to be a competitive team next year in the playoffs. Maybe win back-to-back titles. We'll see. It'll be tough, but we'll see what we can do. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Malin, and I'm out. Y'all have a good day.